Hello everybody, Caden here today with another episode of Minecraft Dinosaurs, and today we're back on the world to, well, show off some stuff, analyze some things, and potentially get started on some stuff. So, because we still don't have the Crassigeranus or enough Diplocalus yet, and I would like more, we're going to quickly throw some more biofossil into said analyzers. I did a fair bit of collecting since last episode, just because, well, I really want those creatures because they look cool, and I don't know, I think I'm looking forward to doing some sort of amphibian type area. I could have split these up even further and finished it faster, but whatever. So, since last episode, what was last episode? I'm trying to remember here. Oh, last episode was just finishing the lab, wasn't it? I think it was. So yeah, last episode we did this. I've changed nothing, pretty much. I think maybe I finished the roof area? I don't really remember. But yeah, not really much has changed since last episode in the laboratory. I still need to put the gravel on top of the ceiling, but I'll get around to that at some point. Mainly because, I'm actually kind of happy I put the vines there. That was surprisingly useful. Wait, I do have a music disc. Oh, that one. I like that one. Let me just quickly check this one and see how many we have left. Yeah, we'll head outside real quick. So, instead of finishing up the last bits of the lab like I thought I was going to do... Oh, by the way, I actually have new shaders on. We're trying out Silder's Vibrant shaders right now. Why? Because I felt like it. And it has less problems with, say, my armor being enchanted, where, you know, it doesn't just disappear and stuff. And you can actually see enchantments on items without it being buggy, which is nice. I don't like the sky or the fuzziness of distant terrain as much, but other than that, I like the color scheme and all that, and it looks quite nice. Anyway, so I changed shaders and stuff. There is one thing, and you can kind of begin to see it here. I've done work in a different sector of the park, or a different way of the park. So what I was thinking of before this episode was... before I started working on things was, we're going to go and we're going to get the Ankylosaurus in this episode. That's not going to happen. Next episode, I think we'll do Ankylosaurus. Or one of the other dinosaurs. I'll bring all that stuff up as we walk around. But as I was preparing for all that, and I guess, you know what, I'll just walk over here, show you guys what I did. So basically, I was like, I didn't think the park was very park-like. Because, to be honest, most of the stuff was pretty boring. And rather ramshackle. So, as you can see, I gave everything a slight upgrade, I'd say. So new fence for the Stegosaurus exhibit, brand new walkway. The walkway might be changed, mainly because I ran completely out of volcanic brick, and this stuff is not the easiest to get. So, yeah, I might be switching this out for a different block. Maybe put the volcanic brick stairs around the lanterns. I don't know, we'll see. But we got redstone lamps in the walkway to add lighting, railing, new fence for the stegosaurs, and I know probably like a ton of people, or not a ton, but some people will be like, oh, why did you switch them out? You can't see the stegosaurs as well now. To be honest, believe me, this fence, this is not where I first used the fence. Look at it over there in a minute. But this fence, I think me and my friend Avlardo, we spent about an hour talking about fence designs and going through several fence designs until we came up with this one, and I'm pretty happy with it for kind of like a light herbivore fence. And the visibility is not actually that terrible, and if I wanted to, I can easily go into the texture files and, you know, shave off an extra pixel or two on all of the iron bars to thin them down even more for more visibility, but I actually rather like this, and I think this fence makes a lot more sense than the previous one we had. I also made the exhibit, I don't know, a bit taller, so it's not as, you know, low to the ground. I will, however, be extending it farther back that way, and we'll see that in a minute. Anyway, as you can see, I've got, like, shrubbery on the outsides of the wall, or the fence. Finally built a little entrance to that door there. And then this is where it all started, the redesigning of stuff, and that is the Triceratops exhibit. Because... oh man, this took like 2 hours to redo. It really did take forever, but I think made a decent Triceratops exhibit. It's a lot better than the previous one, which was, as you remember, just that little valley I had found, or less of a valley and more of just a little dent in the ground, and I'd thrown there's some Triceratops in there. I wasn't a fan of just having, you know, a solid drop down from the pathway be the entire exhibit. So I decided to raise the exhibit up. In fact, this is the lowest point of the exhibit, and this is still 3 blocks above the previous height of the exhibit, and this is a little lake now. But yeah, so we raised the entirety of the exhibit up. Most of this hill is artificial. It wasn't there until I started building it. And yeah, I am a lot happier with this Triceratops exhibit. I think statistically, it's actually a tiny bit smaller than the original exhibit. But I don't know. I feel like to me at least, it just seems more interesting. It's a lot more interesting to look at. We got the lake. We've got more of a hill. We've got lots of trees, grass, and I think it looks adequately sized for them. I don't know. If let me know what you guys think of it in the comments down below. And yes, it's the same exact fence. This is the fence I actually built this fence design for it. This exhibit, not the other one. And I think this one's actually slightly taller, and it has these sponsons on it that I didn't put on the Stegosaurus fence, mostly because I just kind of forgot to. But yeah, so this is... Now, before people are like, oh, is this what all the fences are going to look like? No, I'm obviously going to change fences depending on what animals we're working with and what kind of area we're working with. Because, I mean, a majority of this exhibit isn't really going to have fences. There will be a fence coming on. There probably only will be one fence, and it'll just kind of go that way and then maybe this way a bit. But that's it. The rest of this will be like the Triceratops exhibit was, where it drops down. Now, the reason I decided to, well, raise that up is because I realized Stegosaurus was a drop-down exhibit. This was a drop-down exhibit. Ankylosaurus was going to be a drop-down exhibit. Brachiosaurus is going to be a drop-down exhibit. Ceratosaurus was a drop-down exhibit. So you can kind of get why I didn't want to keep them all as drop-down exhibits. At least I think that's going to be my new official term for what that exhibit type is, the drop-down. So I kind of just decided I didn't really want that anymore. And I'm actually even thinking there may not be a fence on the Ankylosaurus exhibit because out this way, I'm thinking of putting more animals because there's definitely going to be more space for an enclosure there. So this may even just be a pathway, so this entire area may look like that, no fences like this. However, I am probably going to use that fence style or a similar fence style all the way around the Brachiosaur area because, well, that one needs a big fence. We got more terraforming projects we're going to work on around here and stuff. I actually managed to drain most of the river because, I don't know, it just kind of got annoying to work around it all the time. And you guys would not believe the amount of times I had to rebuild this path because I don't know, like the Stegosaurus area, we head back over there. I had to almost entirely restructure that because it didn't quite meet up with the new 5-wide path that went on a very strict regimented system. Anyway, that was what I wanted to talk about this episode. So, I wanted to talk a bit about new creatures that are going in the park. So, and this is actually tying into another thing I was thinking. Anyway, before I get into that, here's what I'm thinking for what we can do. And you guys can pick the first project we go into. I was thinking Ankylosaurus because I've already got that mostly done, and that won't be too much longer to make. But we can we're putting the Ankylosaurs there. Brachiosaurs are obviously going here. I'm thinking we might put Gallimimus or something like Gallimimus over in that area there because this exhibit's going to stop right there. So this and the other fence goes from there. So there's a pretty decent chunk of land over there. So Gallimimus might work really well in that area. We could even potentially throw something in here. I don't really want to throw something here though. I kind of want to just do some terrain, maybe put a statue here or something. I think that would look a lot cooler than, instantly throwing in another exhibit. Because, to be honest, I do like that this area is a bit more, I guess you could say, congested. I like having a lot of exhibits close together. I think it looks cool. But I don't want too many exhibits that it's just kind of like, everywhere is an animal. Plus, we don't have enough mobs for that yet. I mean, I've got a lot of space, so I might as well, spread out the designs a bit. But yeah, I think so. The two we currently have, a third potential exhibit, maybe a fourth one, and then a fifth exhibit that I could potentially do, and that is actually out by the Pachycephalosaurus area. Oh, sweet. So these are finished. Please be the amphibians I want. Tiktaalik. We got another Diplocalus. That's good. We still haven't got the the demon eel. Cressigirnius? I still don't know how to say its name. It's something. The demon eel is what I like to call it. I don't know. It looks cool. But yeah, so if we head now over, it's kind of annoying that I have to keep hunting for biofossil just because I want one amphibian. But you know, we'll do what we have to do. I do need to. Okay, so like I was saying, before we go over to that other exhibit, a lot of the Stegosaurus exhibit was shifted over. The old fence was actually where this border wall is, and I don't know. I like having this little 2-block gap between the exhibit and the fence, or the exhibit fence and the walkway, because I feel like that's a bit more realistic. And I don't know. I think it looks quite nice as well. But yeah, their exhibit did shrink a decent amount, so I'm going to actually expand it out, and we can head over here. I did edit the arch a bit, and I think it looks a bit nicer now. This is going to have a much nicer exhibit now because I have an extra block space to work with, so we can build some super fancy exhibit entrance for the Compsognathus, which are in here somewhere. People have asked me to check up on them, and I know they're in here because I've heard. Oh, like one's right there, yeah. I know they're in here. They're just small and they're very quiet. Oh, there's another one. Yeah, if we head over this way, another like small entrance. I like this area especially, mostly because I screwed up and actually built the fence 3 blocks from the path. So I just put a lot of bushes and plants over here to, I don't know, make it look more interesting. And I think it does. Because the second entrance into the Stegosaur exhibit's pretty cool. And yeah, this will show you how far over we had to move the pathway to get it to fit. So the Pachycephalosaurs might have to move slightly, or I'll just extend their exhibit out this way a few blocks. We'll see. Anyway, Pachys haven't changed at all. Ceratosaurus hasn't changed at all. This is about where another exhibit can go. I'm thinking like right along here. So, because this rock wall is going to come to about here, so stretch around and meet up back there. So we've got space for maybe one exhibit, maybe Therizinosaurus to go right here, and then potentially even right up to the river line here and meet up with the pathway. Speaking of which, I might remove this fence corner and just make it a solid angle because that's a bit easier to work with. I don't know, I'll see. A lot of stuff is probably just going to be edited as I go along. And I know every time I do one of these parks, I'm always like, oh no, I'm not going to go back and edit a ton. It's just going to be whatever I put down originally and we're going to stick with that. And then I don't do that because then I suddenly am like, well, it would look a lot better if I did this or that or this or that. This exhibit does need to be expanded though. Like, I think I need to include the hill into it, maybe bring the hill out a bit more, turn that into an actual fence. Because I don't think, of course though, I don't really think anything else is going back here. Really. Because, you know, there's not really a lot of space back here to put anything. Oh, that reminds me, I actually was going to show you guys on the map some of my plans for the next couple episodes. So obviously we've got, if we hop up here, we've got the Brachiosaurus, Ankylosaurus, potential 3rd dinosaur, potential 4th dinosaur somewhere around here, potential 5th dinosaur, and maybe even a 6th dinosaur up here. And then we're going to kind of see the park go in 2 different directions. So as you guys know, since I started putting all my buildings and farms down here, nothing's really going to go in this direction here. This is probably all just going to stay as like my workstations. So the park is primarily going to go up that way, over here, and then maybe a tiny bit around here. But for now, what I'm thinking is, so this Ankylosaurus exhibit's going to go all the way across like that, and that'll bring us up into the secondary area of plains that we can use. But then we're going to have a couple paths meet up over here, and then this whole region of river and that one lake is going to be our river swamp type exhibits. So that'll be things like Spinosaurus, Parasaurolophus, Platybelodon. What are some other creatures I can think of? Maybe we'll put the Meganeura over, well, we'll probably put Meganeura over here. We might put one of the amphibians in, we'll see. But all that stuff's going to be going along this river. In fact, I have been considering, oh, that was a pig. I just noticed I got pushed. And I was like, oh no, what is pushing me? I've been trying to consider just looking off this map where I'm going to put the aquarium. And I have... Oh, that was the potential 5th exhibit, is right over here, because that... You can't tell really with the map. That's like a little crevice, and I don't know. I thought it looked cool. We could put like some cool looking carnivorous dinosaur in there. I think that'd be interesting. But I was trying to figure out where I wanted to put the aquarium, because the aquarium is probably the next big build we're going to do. And I'm honestly beginning to think that over here somewhere will be where it is, because then these mountains over here... Whoa, what's going on there? It's probably to do with like sunlight or something. But these mountains over here, you can see, are probably going to be the Ice Age zone area thing. In fact, that lake will probably be... Oh, Sarcos! That's the other thing that's going in here. How did I forget that? But maybe even include that lake in an Ice Age park type area. I don't know. We'll see. Sorry I'm not doing very much this episode, but this... I don't know. I got excited with all the rebuilds I had done and making the park look nicer, so that got me excited to make another video, and I wanted to make another one, and then I didn't really have much to do because I'd kind of also just spent all my resources building all of this, so I kind of need to go get more stuff before we can continue on. I probably need to work a bit more on the path design so I can actually have the paths extend and not have to spend 2 billion years finding volcanic rock to make stairs out of. Yeah, I'll see. But I think this is going to make a nice little exhibit here. Yeah, I really think it should. And then I think what I am going to end up doing with this area here is probably quite predictable. I think it's going to be like some sort of viewing tower. And so you can see into the brachiosaurs, this whatever's over there, the ankylosaurs. If something goes right here, you'll be able to see that super easily. And maybe may even be able to see the Triceratops. Well, I don't know. Oh, that's another thing. I keep remembering, like, it's been several days of working on this, and I was trying to remember all the things I wanted to tell you guys. One of them was, so this pathway is going to meet up in the river probably both from this angle over here heading straight, and then the path's going to continue down this way. And I think, because I don't think I wanted it to continue straight along the Triceratops exhibit. I mean, if you look at this, like, I still have a lot of stuff to fill in over here. And then have it go here, but I'm thinking I can't even do parkour anymore, apparently. Let me hop up on this. Of maybe these two or these two. I think these were the two I was thinking. Building some sort of JPOG or JWE style viewing vent. Maybe not quite as like futuristic, but some sort of viewing vent over here, so you'll be able to walk up some stairs and get a better view into the Triceratops enclosure. Yeah, so I've been thinking about that. Yeah, I am really happy with this. I don't know what you guys think of it. Let me know what you think of these updates to the park down in the comments below. I am really happy with this stuff, and I think it's starting to look pretty good. I don't think it looks the greatest right now, just because these are the only things that have been like carefully crafted in the world, because that's all still really ramshackle. This is ramshackle, no trees, no decorations or anything. But I think once we can get everything to look like this area, so vegetation's in, new exhibits are in, and with really nice fences and walkways and all that, I think the park's going to come together a lot more and, I don't know, look a lot more cohesive. Anyway, I think I've rambled on just a bit too long there, so thank you guys for watching. Sorry we didn't do much in this episode. But yeah, next episode we'll hopefully get in another dinosaur. So yeah, until next time, guys, see ya.